Okay, so this today's class I'm taking on hardware experiment. Those we supposed to do in the laboratory. Okay, so in the offline laboratory classes, you supposed to do hardware experiments. So in the hardware experiments means, see, we already did simulations in the simulation laboratory. We have done simulations of some structures, microstrip structures. See, those simulations experiment, whatever we have in simulation list of simulation experiments, uh, those simulations we will be doing using a hardware, okay, in the hardware laboratory. So here, see, these are the structure what we have done in the simulation lab. So in the simulation lab means we are implementing this, okay, in the simulation tool, and we verified the properties of these structures. See, like this structure, this is a ring resonator. Ring resonator we have done in the simulation tool, and we studied the properties of this, and also we designed this using design equations. There are design equations are there. Using those design equations, we have designed the structure, and we have implemented, and we have studied the properties of this structure. Okay, similarly, this is a branch line coupler. In the simulation tool, it will be looking like this. So this is the structure in the simulation tool. Similarly, this is the one what we have drawn, and here are the ports. You see, this is a port 1 and port 2 that we are putting in the simulation tool. Ports means this is a source here. Source acts as a source, and also it acts as a receiver also. Okay, both we can see. Okay, this is a source here we have connected, that is a port here. We can vary the frequency of this source. Okay, so and also we can receive the signal here. We can receive the signal at the port, other port, and we can vary, and we kept here the port voltage, that is actually power in dBm. Okay, 0 dBm power we set here. Okay, in while doing simulation, I think if you click over that port properties, you can see in the laboratory. Click on the port properties, you can observe here the impedance of this source is 50 ohm, and its power input power is 0 dBm. Okay, dBm, you know, all of you, what is that dBm with respect to 1 milliwatt. That ratio is taken. Okay, 0 dBm is the input power here what we are putting. That actually we can change also. We can, instead of 0 dBm, we can apply any value. But what we are doing is we are taking a ratio while measuring S21 or S11. What we are doing, we are taking a ratio of output received signal here divided by the incident wave. Okay, received a waveform here, and transmitted, and this is a receiver. So in the ratio that will be cancelled here. Okay, so that's why we get a 0 dBm only. Otherwise you can change. You, all of you can go through that port properties. You can observe that. Okay, so that is a port what we are doing here, and also here these are the ports. Okay, these are the simulation model. But simulation model may be anything, but it is not practical. Okay, we cannot use it for application. In the application, if you want to use it as a resonator, ring resonator in the communication system, we cannot use this. This is just a simulation. But okay, we can verify whatever practical that device is. See, once we fabricate this, we can, using this structure, whatever we have simulating in the simulation tool, this structure, we can fabricate the one, same one, we can fabricate like this. This is a fabricated one. You can see here, this is a ring resonator, what we have fabricated. See, like this. This is the ring. This is metal. Okay, copper, conducting metal here. This is the ring what we have. And this is a feed here, feed line. So this is a feed line. So the small gap is there, you can observe. Here is a small gap. That is a gap here, whatever S here. And also here S is there. Okay, this is a feed line. Okay, this is a feed line. And in this in the laboratory, hardware laboratory, once you come to the hardware laboratory, you can measure what is the width of this ring. it is already fabricated. Okay, and also the fabricated means it is simulated for a particular frequency. See here, this is a 2.5 gigahertz. See, this structure is designed for resonant frequency of 2.5 gigahertz. Okay, 2.5 gigahertz, and using substrate must be there, is correct. This is a substrate. What we are gray color is there. This gray color, this is a substrate here. And the substrate ring is there, you see. This is a ring. And actually bottom also metal is there. Perfect conductor must be there. As you are doing, you observed in the setting, we are used to keep the perfect conductor in the bottom. So below this substrate, there is a perfect conductor is there. Okay, so on that there is a substrate. Actually this is of 3.12. This permittivity of this material for the fabrication, what they have taken is 3.12. Okay, and the thickness is a 0.8 mm, 0.8 mm, 0.769, 0.76 means 0.8 mm. See, thickness of this substrate is 0.76 mm, and its permittivity is a 3.12 is a permittivity. Okay, a metal is there in the back, and we designed this taking and it's a 0.001. Its loss is a 0.012 is a loss of this material. Okay, taking that material, substrate material, we have drawn this. You see, this is a structure is fabricated like this. Okay, and it is operating at 2.5 gigahertz. Automatically, 2.5 gigahertz using the substrate, yeah, we will be getting some radius. See, this R will be there. So that is the R will be there here, and these are to that is, so we can this is on fabricated. We will tell you how to fabricate, that is not needed, but if you go for fabrication, we can easily fabricate this from this simulation. Whatever we have finalized or optimized this simulation model, we can extract some features. Okay, a top view of this we can extract, retaining the say everything dimensions and all. Using that we can fabricate this. Using the image of this, we can fabricate like this. Okay, that is not a very big problem. We can get it done by 500 rupees. So this entire structure we can get it done by 500 rupees. Okay, so okay, so like this is a substrate and this ring is there, and this is a feed line here. Okay, and a port means in the hard in the simulation tool we are putting like this, but here it is, see, this is called as SMA connector. This is called SMA connector means it is a coaxial cable. It has an inner conductor and a outer conductor. Okay, this SMA connector, this is outer conductor. See, what I am showing here is outer, but inside there is a inner conductor is there. Okay, this should be connected to coaxial cable. This should be connected to coaxial cable. I will show you this one. This inside this there is a inner conductor is there. That inner conductor connected to the feed line. You see here, feed line. This is a feed line. Inner connector connected to the feed line like this. So here also this is connected to a feed line. Okay, so like that, wherever we want to connect the signal, see, signal we cannot, signal source must be connected to the one. See, like a port is a source. Okay, here in the hardware, you should connect the source to the structure, to the feed line. How do we connect? Using this connector. This is called as SMA connector. Okay, it has a inner conductor inside. So like a white color something is there. That is insulator. At the center there is a conductor that is taken and connected to here. See here, to the structure. So that is inner conductor of the coaxial cable connected to our structure. Okay, and outer connector is connected to the coaxial cable. Okay, I will show you the source. So okay, this is a connector, just a connector to connect the source to the structure. This is called SMA connector. See, like this. So how to connect a source? We have a source. I will show you the source. What is the source? But the source must be connected to the structure. This is our structure. How to connect that source to the structure? That is using a SMA connector. See, like this. This is SMA connector. And also, see, here we are connecting source, and here we should measure how much of power is coming out of this. Okay, there is a one more source device must be there for measuring the signal coming out of this. Again, we should use a SMA connector. Okay, this is connected to the equipment for measuring measure the signal output, how much power is coming here. Okay, so like this is used. So wherever we want to connect to the source or to read the take the signal out from the structure, we have a SMA connectors like this. See here, this is a branch line coupler. It has a four ports. So we are measuring the we are sending the signal through one port. For example, we are sending the power at one port. Okay, and we should connect source to here. And next what we are doing, we are measuring the signal year and year. Okay, but in the practically we cannot measure a power from all the ports simultaneously. Okay, we cannot measure the power from all the ports simultaneously. What we will be doing, we are measuring the power coming out of this separately. First we will measure the power coming out of this port. Okay, so this is a port, for example, this is port 1 here. This is port 2, or like a simulation tool what we did, this is a port 1. So you can take this as a port 1, this is port 2, this is port 3, and this is port 4. And you should see here how I have kept here. See, wider line is like this because this is a device to identify the ports 1 2 3. Okay, what you can do, you hold this like this. See, parallel, this is parallel here. This wider lines are like this I kept here, and thinner lines I kept like this vertically. Okay, I took this as a port 1. So this is port 1, port 1. This is a port 1. And this is port 2. This is port 2. You should analyze like this, port numbers. Okay. Because port number, with respect to port numbers, we are seeing the signal. We are sending the signal, for example, at port 1, equal power division is there at port 2 and port 3. Okay, equal power division here and here. Okay, that means 2 and 3. You should identify which are the 2 and 3, which is 1. Okay, otherwise you may get, if you take this as a port 2, your output will be wrong. So what you should do, you should keep the structure like this and identify the ports first. You can take anyone as a port 1, but better follow one thing. See, keep the structure like this, horizontally this wider lines, and vertically this thinner lines. Take this upper one as a 1, and next is a 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So automatically equal power division here and here, and zero power must be from the port 4. This is called as an isolated port. Okay, so you should use that. So these are the ports. Okay, you want to measure a power from here, you have to further power flowing through the port 2. Okay, power coming out of this port, this is okay. So ports are there. So you want to measure a power, you should take power output from here and you connect a source to here, and it should be a power measured from here. But you cannot measure, as I said, we cannot measure the power from here all ports at a simultaneously. But in the simulation tool you can see, if you simulate by taking S21, S31, S41 simultaneously, we are adding all the plots whatever we needed and simulating. So at a time we will be getting all the plots. But in the practically we cannot do like that. You should measure the power coming from each port separately. So you feed the signal to the port 1, connect source, connect to the 1. You should, if you want to measure S21, you should read the power from power coming out of this port. Okay, at that time what we have to do, you should put match termination to here and here. There is a match termination in the laboratory, 50 ohm match termination. You connect match termination to here and here, measure the power coming out of this port, that is P2. Okay, apply power P1 here, measure the P2 here, and this and this must be match terminated. Okay, similarly if you want to measure a power from here, that is P3, what you have to do, you should put a match termination here and here. Okay, measure the power coming out of this. I will show you which device is supposed to use for measuring the power coming out of this, and what is the source we are connecting here, that I will tell you. Okay, so assuming this is the source we are connecting here. If you want to measure power coming out of any port, other ports must be match terminated. Okay, Okay, so like that. So these are the called SMA connectors. You can using those. You can connect the display device and source to the structures. So these structure once we fabricate. See, if you fabricate this structure, they are looking like this. This is a ring resonator, this is branch line coupler, and they have specified here what is a resonant frequency. It is two frequencies are 2 to 3 gigahertz. Center frequencies are 2.3 gigahertz. Okay, it is designed to operate at 2.3 gigahertz center frequency. So but we can measure the width of this we can measure using scale, and the substrate is the same here. This is a substrate here, gray color, 3.12. It's a permittivity, thickness is a 0.76 0.8 mm. Okay, so you can because you can measure what is the frequency of this in the converse way. Here dimensions are given, you find out a frequency. In the previously what we were doing, we were taking a frequency and finding the, we are taking a substrate and a frequency, finding the dimensions. But here dimensions are given, to what frequency it is tuned, that you can find out from the dimensions. Okay. So that way you can find out the frequency, resonant frequency of this, resonant frequency of this also. And the branch line, see this is a parallel line coupler. See this is a parallel line coupler. See like this. Okay. You can put, this is a 45-degree. We kept a 45-degree these ports like this. But we can do like this also. Okay. It is now, this is a parallel line. See here, and the gap is there, you see. Yes, as we were doing, yes is there between the two lines. This is one line, this is another line. In between the two there is a gap is there, you can observe that gap. Okay, so that is a yes here. And the width is W, here is width is W. This is a feed line, from here to here is a feed line. This is a feed line here. And again ports must be connected through sources connected using SMA connector. This is under this one here. Okay, the procedure for measuring is the same. So these structures are available in our laboratory. You can see these structures. Okay, and next you have to carry out the experiment. Okay, you have to take this. You can note down the dimensions using scale, and you can find out the frequency also. Okay, using converse approach. Okay, so now we will see what is the source. See, we should feed the signal. Here ports are available in the lab, in the simulation tool easily. Simply we will drag and drop, and we are doing that. Okay, but in practically it is not like that. Okay, it is very difficult. Difficult means tough to get a source. It is not easy to get the source. Okay, so, and as I said, these devices, whatever I am showing here, this one, approximately their resonant frequency is 2.5 gigahertz. All these devices fabricated to resonate at 2.5 gigahertz. Okay, so that is 2 to 3 gigahertz. In between 2 to 3, 2.5 gigahertz the resonant frequency of these structures. Okay, so now how to, what is the source? What is practically how it is that source is? Because we have to apply the source here. And how do you do the experiment here? For example, ring resonator. What we are doing? We are finding the response of this resonator, is correct. Response means we are applying the source here, and we are varying the frequency of this 2 to 3. For example, this is 2 to 2.5 gigahertz. What we do? We are sweeping the frequency from 2 to 3 gigahertz in steps of some in steps, zero point 0.01 gigahertz step size, that we are specifying starting frequency, ending frequency, and the step size we are specifying. That is 2 gigahertz, ending is a 3 gigahertz, step size is 0.01. Okay, and each frequency we will observe the response here. For that what we do, that is a S21, is correct. S21 we are, okay, this is a one what we are doing. See like this. So this is what we have done in the simulation too. 2 to 3 gigahertz we varied using this, and power we have taken 0 dpm, and we observed the response of that means P1 ratio S21. S21 means what here? S21, S21 in dB. Okay, this is a 10 log of in dB it is 10 log of S21. What is S21? It is a ratio of B2 by A1. That is, B2 means power coming out of this port, that is a B2. This is A1, so B2 by A1, that is a S21. See, magnitude of S21 in dB. We are plotting like this. So in simulation, what we are doing, we are plotting this. Is correct. Magnitude of S21 in dB. All of you did it. What is this magnitude of S21 in dB? See, it is like this. Magnitude of S21 dB means it is 10 log of S21 magnitude square. What is S21? It is B2 by A1. Is correct. B2 by A1 magnitude square. Power, because this is a voltage ratio. To get a power, we are taking square of that. So B2 by A1 gives the power here. This is. So if you simplify this, so what is this S2 magnitude of S21 that we are displaying in the simulation tool is correct. Magnitude of S21. What is actually that? That is, see like this. If you take 10 log of B2 square, 10 log of A1 square. What is this here? 10 log of B2 square. So that is power of P2, power coming out of this port, power coming out of this port. Okay. And what is this here? 10 log of A1 magnitude square. That is power incident at port 1, power giving incident at port 1, power coming out of this. That is a P2. This is a P1. Okay. So this is P2 and a P1. So P2 in dB, P1 in dB. Okay, what is this in magnitude of S21 in dB that we are plotting in the laboratory? What is that? That is the difference between power at port 1 and power at port 2. So we are taking a power at port 2 minus the 1 by okay, P1 in dB. So magnitude of S21 dB, it's actually power at port 2 in dB minus power at power input at port 1. Okay, that we are doing here. That ratio we are doing, ratio S21 ratio, it is in decibels. It is like this: P2 in dB minus P1 in dB. Okay, actually that's the meaning here. What magnitude of S21 dB means, that is the meaning here. We are doing this and we are plotting at every frequency P2 minus P1 in dB, P2 minus P1 in dB, that we are doing like this. Okay, this is the plot what we got for different values of this tan delta. Okay, and we observed as the tan delta increases, loss increases. See like that 2, what is the difference, or to 2.1, what is the difference, like this we are doing. Okay, so this plot directly we are getting from the simulation tool without any effort. We are getting this in the simulation tool. Okay, simply we are taking a magnitude of S21 in dB. This will be displayed. Okay, actually what is this? It is a difference of power, power coming out of this port minus power coming from here. Okay, that we are plotting here. Okay, so in the simulation tool, okay, we will be getting easily this, but how to do that practically? See, you should vary the frequency, you should vary the frequency here. And S21 directly we do not get from the simulation tool. S21 like magnitude of S21, okay, that we do not get in our laboratory. See, actually there is a equipment is there, that is called a network analyzer, vector network analyzer. Using that we can get this directly, practically also, experimentally. But that equipment is not there in our laboratory because it is a costly equipment. Okay, it is around 25 to 30 lakhs equipment, that one. Okay, so we do not have that measure directly this magnitude of S21. Okay, so for that, what we are doing in our laboratory, we are connecting a source. Okay, and we are measuring the power, how much power input into the one. Next, we are measuring how much power coming out of this port. That we are measuring in dB. We are connecting a source and we are measuring how much power we are inputting here at each frequency. At each frequency, we will note on the how much power we are inputting here and what is the output coming out of this at each frequency we are measuring. Then we are taking a difference of those two. See like this. We are sending a signal. Okay, P1 usually we will keep constant, is correct. P1 we will put out power and we are measuring at each frequency we are connecting a source. Okay, see like that. And then we are measuring the power P2. See like coming out of this. So practically it is a sweep. In the simulation too, automatically it will sweep frequency from 2 to 3. Okay, 0.01 step size. But practically how to do that? Okay, For that source, actually the source is this one. You see here, this is a source. Okay, we are using practically for applying a signal to the structure. To the structure, the source means this one. Okay, and we can vary the frequency in steps from here. Okay, this is a source available in our laboratory. See, like this. This is a source. Okay, okay, so this is a source available in our laboratory. You can, once we come to the laboratory class, you can see this is available in our laboratory. And this is a source actually, okay, microwave source. Its a frequency range is 2.2 to 3 gigahertz. See, it is only from, we can vary the frequency 2.2 to 3 gigahertz. That's all. Okay, behind that we cannot apply. Only it gives output of from 2.2 to 3. See, like sweeping, we are sweeping like this. Okay, only in the simulation tool, as you know, you can set 1 gigahertz to 10 gigahertz or 1 to 6, whatever you wish. Okay, but in our laboratory we have a source. This source, that source frequency we can vary only from, see, 2 to 2.2 to 3 gigahertz. That's all. Behind that we cannot. Okay, because see, the source, as you go for high frequency, sources are very costly. The equipments are very costly, so we cannot buy them for our laboratory academic purpose. Okay, that's why we are not having in our laboratory. Low cost some equipments we have. This is some low cost equipment, but in the microwave range 2.2 to 3 gigahertz. Okay, we can vary the frequency from 2.2 to 3 gigahertz. Is it audible? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, okay. Okay, so only 2.2 to 3 gigahertz we can vary from this one. And you see here, to vary the frequency, here, see, this frequency here is there. See, this is the knob. This is the knob. Using this, you can vary the frequency starting from 2.2 to 3 gigahertz in steps of 0.01. See, this is the display. See, this is a display. Once you come to the laboratory, you go through this. Okay, knob is there. This is a frequency. We can vary the frequency. Okay, starting from 2.2. Okay, you can go leftmost. If you keep this knob in the leftmost, you will be reading 2.2, or sometimes in, because this is a practical equipment, you may not exactly expect a 2.2. It may be 2 sometimes, it may be 1.9 sometimes. Starting frequency, starting approximately start from 2.2. Okay, do not confuse. If you don't get a 2.2 at a minimum, whenever you set a keep it at leftmost position, do not expect always 2.2. It may be greater or lesser than little bit this one. Okay, so if you keep at leftmost position, it may be less than 2 gigahertz. Okay, next you can rotate this in the clockwise direction. You can move this in the clockwise direction, and you can observe here, as you move it in the clockwise, rotate in the clockwise direction, frequency changes. That you can set here 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, like that. You can move this clockwise direction. Okay, you can change this frequency. It will change 2.1, 2.3. Slowly we have to move this. Okay, then frequency will be changing, and you can read that frequency, whatever you set to 2.1. Okay, next to set to 2.2. So like that we can vary the frequency from this source. Okay, this is a source. Okay, so this is a frequency knob. Don't confuse. You should always okay, this is a frequency knob. You can vary the frequency using this knob. Okay, leftmost is the minimum frequency, and see, this is the point. Leftmost it is kept. Next you can move this like this. It will come to here. Maximum frequency you will observe. Okay, so like that you and read that using this readout 2.1 for whatever you set. Okay, so that is a source we have here. Okay, that is about a frequency. But what is the power coming out of this? Okay, here we have a structure. Okay, see this structure, we have to connect to this okay, source we have, but how to connect the source to here? Okay, so here, see here, output, you can from here you can take a output from this. Now this is the output. This is the output is available from this. Okay, you can take a output here. And there are many buttons are there, you see there are a lot of buttons are there. We will see this is for frequency and this is for this one. And you can see here that is a CW is written. This is called continuous wave. CW represents continuous wave. If you keep it in the pressed position, see if you keep it in pressed position, see, we will be getting continuous wave like this from this output. From here, this is actually the output what we have to take. Okay, how to take, we cannot connect this directly to our device. See, our device is like this. See, this is the one what we have. We cannot connect directly to here. What we have to do, see, this is the output anyway. Okay, you should use like this is called as adapter. This is called as adapter. Okay, so adapter must be connected to here. See here, this is actually the SMA connector. It will go to SMA connector. Okay, this must be fixed to here. This is a threaded one. Here threads are there, you just put it here. Okay, next this is connect here is there. Okay, so to this you should connect this cable. This is a cable available in our laboratory. See, like first you connect the adapter. Next, this is a male and female connectors. You connect this cable one end to here. Other end is here. Okay, other end is here. So from here we are taking the output. From here we take a output from this one. Output is coming from here. Okay, so this way we should connect here. Okay, this cable, coaxial cable again it is. Okay, and adapter it should, this connector should be connected to our device. See here, to this. Okay, to this you should connect this point. Okay, so then we can vary the frequency from 2.2 to 3 gigahertz. Okay, so anyway output is available from here. Now we cannot connect directly to here. Okay, you should take from here. Okay, after connecting this adapter and a cable, but output coming from here, I have shown here. See here, four I have shown here, four waveforms. One is continuous, I have shown here. Another is a AM signal, I have shown. This is AM, ASK. I think you studied that ASK, amplitude shift keying, like okay, modulated. This is called as square wave modulated, ASK kind of thing here. Okay, ASK signal, amplitude modulated. This is called as amplitude modulated signal. This is a frequency modulated signal. And this is a sweep signal. See, all these kind of waveforms we can get from this point, this output, all these. But one at a time, not all. Okay, either you can get this continuous wave from here, or modulated wave from here, or like this, or like this. Any one of this you can get out of this based on different applications. So some need a continuous wave like this output from here. It may be AM modulated or a FM modulated, sweep modulated like this. Okay, so based on which type of waveform we want from here, that is output from here. Okay, we have to choose here. Buttons are there. See, output may be any one of this. Okay, so which one you want to get output from here? That is these buttons. See, here are there. Continuous, CW. This is continuous wave. Continuous wave means you should press if you want a continuous waveform like this. This is gigahertz. Whatever the frequency you set here, that frequency will be coming out like this. Okay, see, whatever the frequency you have here, whatever the frequency you set, that frequency signal coming out of this. If you select a continuous wave, then this will turn on. See, this if you set a continuous, press the button, all will be released. This will be released. Okay, these two will be released. You press this, you will be cutting continuous wave here. So output coming is continuous. Okay, this will turn on. If you want like this, what we have to do, you should press this modulation on. This is one button is there. Again modulation, we have, this is AM modulation, this is FM modulation. Okay, so because of that one is for modulation, we want to, do not want a continuous, we want modulation. But what modulation? Either AM modulation or a FM modulation like this. To select that, first you select a modulation. We want modulated. Not we do not want a continuous. What we have to do? Release this button. Release. Okay. We want a modulated wave. Output must be like this. One of this. What I have to do? I should press this button. Press the one. Okay, next I want am, I want am modulation. So what you should do, you should release this button, releasing. You can press this or we can release. If we keep it in a released position, that gives the am modulation. See, am will be selected. I have taken am, so it is am. This color will led will turn on. So what is the output? I have pressed modulation, I need a am, so I release it, I kept it in released position. I am getting this as an output from here. Okay, this one I will be getting. Similarly, if you want a fm, you should press this, keep a modulation on. That means pressed position, this must be in pressed position, this must be open, it should not be closed, pressed position, because we do not want a continuous. So modulation we want, press this button. Next fm we want, you press this button, this will turn on this led. So fm output will coming out of from, see like this, fm output will come. Okay. Okay, this also for continuous, this should be released position and this should be pressed position. This will turn on LED and the output coming is like this. If you want a modulation, you release this, you press this, select either AM or FM. These LEDs will turn on. Based on the, if you release, we will be getting AM modulated signal output here. Okay, pressed position will be getting FM modulated. This carrier is whatever you set here, that will be there. See, carrier frequency is whatever you set using this, whatever the display is coming, that frequency will be coming here, carrier. This is a burst of high frequency signals. Okay, so that we will be getting from here. Okay, we can choose like that, or we can go for a sweep also. Sweep means if you release this and release these two also, we will be getting a sweep waveform. Sweep means this type of one. These applications we are not using, so don't bother about those buttons. Okay, you keep it release, and only actually we are using am modulated signal like this we are taking out of this. Okay, not continuous, that I will tell you why. Okay. Okay, so about this buttons, that is one. Okay, so you can set either continuous am or am, again modulated am or fm. But you see, one more button is there. See, this is for modulation selection, this is for either am or fm, this is for modulation, this is for continuous wave, this is for frequency. Okay, and modulated waveform means, see, it is like this, it is a high frequency here burst of high frequency signal. Actually it is a square wave modulated, low frequency square wave is used to, here is there. See like this, during a low frequency positive cycle, positive half cycle of the square wave, we will be getting high frequency burst signal like this, high frequency signal. This is during positive half cycle. During negative half cycle of the square wave, there is no signal. Okay, this is like a ASK signal, you know, square wave modulated one. Okay, during positive half cycle, we will have a carrier signal. During a negative half cycle, there is no signal. Okay, this is a gigahertz signal, this frequency. During positive half cycle, we have, during negative half cycle, no. And this is a square wave actually. Square wave modulated. That frequency, what is the frequency of that square wave? Okay, actually output here inside there is a modulator is there, that will take care of that. But what is the modulation frequency? See, that frequency is around 1 kilohertz. See here, you can vary that frequency little bit, the modulating frequency, square wave modulated here. Okay, that is frequency of the square wave is around 1 kilohertz, around 1 kilohertz. Okay, during positive half cycle we have a carrier, but negative half cycle there is no carrier. Okay, so that square wave frequency, square wave signal frequency is around 1 kilohertz. Okay, that is actually you can use this for selecting. Around means, see, if this modulation frequency, this is a black color dot is there, if you keep it in the leftmost position here, okay, we will be getting 1 kilohertz. Modulating signal is a 1 kilohertz. But you can vary little bit that up to 2 kilohertz by moving this clockwise. This knob, if we keep it in this position, okay, we will be getting modulated waveform with a 1 kilohertz modulating square wave frequency. Okay, but you can rotate this, you can vary the frequency of the square waves a bit. Okay, this is modulated. Modulated means it has a carrier and the square wave. Square wave is a modulating signal. Carrier is whatever you set here, gigahertz signal. So that modulating signal frequency you can adjust using this knob. Okay, modulating frequency, keep it in the leftmost position, switch it off position, then 1 kilohertz is a modulating signal. Okay, and a little bit we can usually we keep it at a this position. Okay, leftmost position, switch off position means 1 kilohertz, square wave modulated. Okay, and also we are not using this triangular actually FM modulation, don't bother about that. Okay, just we have this now. So this is for selecting the modulating frequency, modulating signal frequency for this AM wave. Okay, so these are for selecting what kind of waveform we needed, either this or this. Okay, and modulating signal, if you choose this one, frequency of modulating signal, you can select from here. But carrier is based on this. You can change the frequency, carrier frequency, this frequency 2 to 3, no, 2 to 3 gigahertz. Vary the one here. This will change 2 to 3 gigahertz. But modulating frequency, one square wave frequency remains at 1 kilohertz. Okay, so that is about this. So you got these four. But one more button is there. You see here, this is RF output. RF output. Okay, see, this must be in the pressed position. Okay, otherwise whatever you set here, see, whatever you set here, output will not coming out if you do not press this button. If you want whatever you set here, okay, if you want that signal to coming out of this, you should keep it in the pressed position, RF output, this button. Then you will be getting this output from here, any of this based on your selection. If you press this, then this will turn on, this will turn on. You see, I have made here, this will turn on, red color. This shows output is coming here, output is coming. If it is not on, then even you set, even you turn on here, even you turn on here, you do not get output. See, first you should turn on this, power on, power on. You should keep it in the on position. This is a toggle switch. You can toggle switch, you keep it in the on position. First you have to do. Okay, next you choose whatever you want here, adjust. Next you should press this. Okay, then only we will be getting this. That's why this is RF output, on or off. Okay, that is a button here. Okay, this is for modulating frequency. These are for those things. And this sweep we are not using, that is for this purpose. Okay, you need not to worry about this, because we are not using at all that one. Okay, next is, see, what is the input power. So what is the power of this P1? See here, what we are doing here, P1, we are applying a signal here. What is the input power? Here I told 0 dBm, 0 dBm input power we are giving here. But what is the power, input power we are giving here? Okay, how much is the input power? Okay, here we fixed 0 dBm. We can change it in the simulation tool. But can we vary the output power here? That we have to see here. Output coming here, power P1, or power coming out of this. Okay, P2 minus P1, what we are doing, input power P1. What is the input power? See that power of the signal coming out of this. See, always in the microwave, we are speaking about a power, not a voltage. Okay, only power measurement we are doing. Okay, that's why. See here, power of this, how much power? 0 dBm, what power we are applying, coming out of this. What is the power in this signal? How to vary the power? See, that is this. See here, this is the knob, power level, RF power level knob is there. Okay, so using this knob, you can vary the power of this signal, whatever the signal you chosen, either continuous or AM. How much power is there? How much power is coming out of this port? That you can adjust by using this. Okay, this is a left. Rotate. You can rotate this. Okay, this is a dot is there, dot. Okay, black color dot. If we keep it in the leftmost position, see, if it is rotated anti-clockwise and keep it in the leftmost position, okay, that is a minimum power you can get. Okay, you have to measure that how much you can measure it. You take a output from here using measuring equipment. You have to how minimum power will come if you put it this knob in the but readout is not there. See, display is not there to measure the power coming out of this. Okay, only frequency you can measure here, not a power coming out of this one here. Whatever how much power here coming here, we cannot measure from this equipment. Display is not there. Okay, some other equipment you have to use for that. Okay, so but you can change the power. See, you can change the power here, 0 dBm, 20 dB, whatever it is like that. Okay, so usually the power is a maximum we are getting is a 0 dB here. 0 dB power. 0 dB means approximately 1 volt. 1 volt. Okay, 1 volt if you take what is the power here, log of 10 log of 1 is a 0 dB. Okay, 0 actually that means 1 volt. If you take a 1 volt in decibels is a 0 dB, but the power coming out of this is a lesser than 1 volt you may not get. Okay, minimum power itself is a very less power we are getting. So, okay, anyway, keep it in the leftmost position. We will be getting minimum power coming from here. Okay. Next, if you want to increase the power, what you have to do? You should move it in the clockwise direction. Starting from here, you move it in the clockwise direction like this. Okay, you can rotate it. Small, slowly you can rotate. You can observe power increases coming out of this. You can measure the power here. You can observe power increases. Okay, so this is for that one, power control. So you can set the power now. See, you can set the power. You can adjust this power to any level. First, do one thing in the laboratory. What you have to do, keep it in the minimum position and measure how much power is coming here. Okay, I will tell you how to do that and which equipment you're supposed to use. Okay, for measuring the power. So keep it in the minimum position, measure how much power is coming. Next, keep it in the maximum position and measure how much power is coming. Okay, it may be any waveform, either this we will be getting power of this or power of this, whatever you set. Okay. So minimum power and maximum power, how much coming out of this equipment you can measure. Okay, so that is okay, that purpose this knob RF power level, do not confuse. Okay, I think I told about all of this, and this one we are not using. Okay, do not some other application, so I am not telling about this. Okay, so this also do not bother. Sweep rate, sweep signal we are not using, do not bother about that. So here toggle switch is there. First you turn on the power on, you keep it in the released position. This one, don't press it. Okay, keep it in the released position first when you start, and keep it in the minimum position. Better keep it in the power level in the minimum position. This is in the on position. This also should be in the off. Off means released position. Okay, next you choose whether which one you want, continuous AM or whatever it is. We want, usually we are using in our laboratory AM. Okay, I will tell you why. Okay, modulation, you should use modulated signal. You should keep it in the released position. Press this button, we will be that means we are selecting modulation. Out of that we want a AM signal. AM means we keep it in the released position. Pressed means FM, released means AM. Okay, we will be getting either this on or this on based on this button. Okay, AM means this will turn on. Okay, next, you connect like this connector, adapter, and this one you will be getting like this output coming out of this. Okay, so if you are kept a AM, you will be getting AM signal like this. Okay, from here, and you can vary the power here. We can vary the power rotating this knob. Okay, so that is about this equipment, the source what we are using in our laboratory. Okay, this kind of, do not think we are getting like these signals. These are demodulated. See, if you demodulate this, this is square wave modulated. This is shown square wave modulation, triangular wave modulated like this. This is a sweep modulated. Outputs are like this. Okay, what type of modulating signal? What they have shown here is modulating signals. Square wave modulated, triangle. These are the modulating signals. Okay, so carrier is this. Okay, so like that. So this is about the source. So we can vary the frequency. We can vary only 2 to 3 gigahertz, and power level we can vary here. How much power level we can vary, I will tell you. Okay, actually it is 0 dBm, maximum voltage is a 1 volt, but always the output coming is lesser than 1 volt. Less than 1 volt means negative, minus 20 dB, minus 10 dB, minus 30 dB, like that power we are getting. Minimum, maximum power we may get minus 30 dB. Do not confuse here. See, even you get a minus 30 dB, okay, that is a maximum power coming out of this. Okay, minimum power may be 60 dB, like that, minus 60 dB. 0 dB is the maximum. Okay, power you may get from here, but there are 3 4 such equipments are there. You cannot expect the same output, maximum output or minimum output from all, because it varies practically. Okay, one may give a maximum of 0 dB or 30 dB for 20 dB maximum, but other may be giving only maximum of minus 30 dB itself. Okay, maximum 0 dB, and afterwards it may be zero point 0.8 volt, zero point 0.7 volts, zero point 0.5 volts. 0.8, 0.7 like means it is negative value, minus 30 dB, minus 20 dB, like that. Okay, that much of power we are getting from here, that we can adjust using this. Okay, okay, so that is about this equipment. Okay, next, okay, we are getting a output. Actually, as I said, this is a square wave modulated signal we are using. Okay, but why the how to measure power here? We will see now how to measure the power coming out of this. Okay, okay, we have chosen, but how to measure the power? Okay, for that we have a equipment that is but see here, this is a gigahertz signal, this is gigahertz signal. Can we able to observe this on the, usually there is a equipment called as oscilloscope. See, like this equipment, oscilloscope. Usually what we do, even in a system we have a oscilloscope, in that we are displaying signal, is correct. So this is called as equipment oscilloscope. Okay, what we are expecting, we want to see this signal, is correct. We want to see this a continuous or a carrier. You should see whether output is coming or not from here. How do you confirm whether output is coming or not? Okay, is a signal coming like this carrier? How to see that signal? First of all, okay, signal is coming, either it may be like this or like this, but how to see whether it is coming out of this or not? Okay, so actually, see, if there is a equipment, if it is having a range of 2 to 3 gigahertz measuring range, okay, then you can see these waveforms, because carrier is a gigahertz and 2 to 3 gigahertz. This is 2 3 gigahertz signal. That means cycle time duration of each cycle is very small, in the order of nanosecond. See, cycle duration is the order of nanosecond here. Nanosecond means it's very very less time. Okay, so if you want to see this signal, see like this, 2 to 3 gigahertz, we need a measuring equipment that must be in the range of 2 to 3 gigahertz range. Okay, you can connect the output here, we can see the signal like this. The equipment must have a frequency range of 2 to 3. Usually oscilloscope, see like this oscilloscope we will be using. So what we do, we take output from here, we have to connect it to here. That signal we are displaying here, that what we are doing in the laboratory. Okay, output we are connecting to oscilloscope. Okay, that signal we are observing like this. Okay, but here the signal carrier itself is a 2 to 3 gigahertz. So if you want to see this one, our oscilloscope must have a range of 2 to 3 gigahertz. Okay, but in our laboratory that equipment is not there. See, from here this oscilloscope, we can measure maximum of 30 megahertz. See here, see 30 megahertz, its maximum frequency you can measure from this equipment is only 30 megahertz. Behind that we cannot. Behind that what happens, the signal becomes densed, whatever your the waveform becomes very much densed, because time duration is very very small. Okay, we cannot see this signal using 30 megahertz signal. If you want to use a 2 to 3 gigahertz oscilloscope, you need it, but that oscilloscope is not there in our laboratory. Again, why we do not have this? That is because of a cost. Okay, cost of the equipment becomes large at a higher frequency. If you want to have a oscilloscope to measure up to 3 gigahertz, 3 gigahertz maximum means you should have at least 10 gigahertz oscilloscope, 10 gigahertz oscilloscope. But 10 gigahertz oscilloscope is very much costly, that I think may not be possible from our academic institutions. So that's why we do not have a oscilloscope of 10 giga maximum frequency of 10 gigahertz or 3 gigahertz. Only minimum like a 30 megahertz, like that oscilloscope. So we cannot see these signals. See like this. Could not see 2 to 3 gigahertz signal waveform on the scope like a 30 megahertz scope. Okay, we cannot see these signals at all in our laboratory. So then cannot see means and also we cannot measure. Then how to measure the power? How do we come to know how to do that? Okay, so actually that's why what we are doing, we are not taking continuous signal like this. We are not taking continuous signal like this. Okay, we are taking like this signal because of that limitation, equipment limitation to see the oscilloscopes and power measuring equipment problems. Okay, you should measure the power here or you should see the signal here. Okay, but that's device equipment, measuring equipment must be of same range. Okay, but that equipments usually are costly, so that's why we do not have in our laboratories. So usually what we will do is we are taking output, we are taking instead of continuous wave we will be taking like this AM modulated signal. Okay, AM modulated means carrier will be there. This is 2 to 3 gigahertz. During positive half cycle of the square wave, we will be having the carrier like this. Okay, and the negative half cycle there is no signal. Okay, this output we will be taking this type of output. Okay, and this one we are demodulating. We will take this and we will demodulate this. Demodulation means we will be getting square wave. See like this. Square wave we will be getting like this after demodulation. See, that is called, detector, diode detector. Hmm? Is a heard of detectors. See like this. We will be taking output from here, from the source. From the source, we take a signal like this. See, from here, we will be taking like this. This signal will be there. Okay. Next, what we do? We will demodulate like this. See, this signal, we will be connect output of this. See, output of this is a AM signal we will be taking. Carrier is a high frequency signal. That signal we are giving to the detector. This is called a detector demodulator. AM demodulator. You studied that. Okay. After passing through, this is not a discrete elements, lumped elements detector. Okay, Schottky diode, it is a detector. Okay, as you go for high frequency operation, we cannot use a lumped elements. That's why this is a detector itself. If you apply a AM modulated signal, this is of high frequency 2 to 3 gigahertz carrier. Okay, after passing through this, we will be getting a square wave like this. This is a square wave. Okay, so anyway, if a carrier is there, okay, we will be getting square wave like this out of this detector. This is called detector. Okay, we are output from, we usually we will take from this source square wave like this of whatever the frequency you set here, that carrier will be there, it is coming out like this. Okay, this signal we are passing through the detector. This is the detector. Okay, once we pass this, because this is a AM demodulator, output is a square wave. Okay, if carrier is there, then only we'll be getting square wave. That is the confirmation. See, if you get a square wave, okay, then there is a signal is there, carrier is there. Okay, that means it is generating a signal. The source is generating signal if you get a square wave here. Okay, so what we are doing, we are taking a square wave and we are demodulating that using the detector here. We will be getting low frequency square wave. As already told, this AM modulating signal is square wave. Okay, so that the square wave we are extracting from using demodulator. Okay, like this. So envelope will be taken here, this envelope, square wave will be getting. This is low frequency signal now. If a AM modulated signal is there, then only we will be getting square wave. Okay, so this signal low frequency 1 kilohertz signal, whatever you demodulated here. Okay, so actually the power in this signal we can find here. Power of this is the same as power of this. Okay, whatever the power you adjust, see here if you set a increase the amplitude of this carrier, this power will increase, square wave amplitude will increase. Okay, so that is a confirmation. So power of this means power of this. If you increase the power of carrier, see that means increase the power here increase the power of this. What happens? Power increases here. Carrier power increases. Square wave amplitude power also increases here. Okay, so like that. So power, now what we are in our laboratory, what we are doing? This is we are doing. We are taking AM modulated signal, then we are demodulating, and power of that we are measuring low frequency signal around 1 kilohertz, that we are measuring using this equipment. This is called as power meter or VSWR meter. Okay, using this we are measuring a square wave waveform from here. Hello, is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because see today is you are having a laboratory, that's why I am continuing this. Okay, a few more slides are there. See, once you come to the laboratory, because it is, and as you know, it is difficult to nowadays to explain all these things, huh? Offline. That's why I am telling all these things. You should all of you know these things. That's why. Okay, individually you may concentrate, may not concentrate. That's why. Okay, please bear 10 minutes more to complete this. Okay, all of you please be there. Okay, so we are demodulating that signal, and so this is a square wave. This power of this signal is associated with the power of this. Okay, so need not measure the measure the how we are measuring the power of this signal. Okay, that is using this demodulated signal. So okay, as we increase the power of this, it will also increase. You can come to know what is the maximum or minimum power like. So that's why we are using AM modulation, because of this. This is a low frequency signal. You can easily measure the power of this using low frequency equipments. ರಂಜಿತಾ ಇದು ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಒಂದು 10 minutes ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ okay so this to measure the power, so we cannot measure the power directly from here for this waveform. What we are doing, we are demodulating this and we are measuring the power of this signal. Okay, but square wave of low frequency signal power you can easily measure using this equipment. This is called as a VSWR meter. Okay, this is the VSWR meter. You can measure the power of low frequency signal around 1 kilohertz. That's why this is a low cost equipment. Okay, so measure the power using this equipment. We can measure what is the power in this square wave, only square wave, and around 1 kilohertz, maybe up to 2 kilohertz you can apply here to this. This is the input we are giving to the VSWR meter. Okay, so how to measure the power here, power of this signal? That is using, see first you take a here, actually this is from the source, you pass it through the detector. We will be getting like this demodulated waveform. Measure the power of this. It is the power of input signal. Whatever you input here, okay, that power of this signal will be here in this demodulated. You measure the power of this, that is power of this waveform. Okay, that way. Why we are doing this conversion? That is because we do not have equipment to measure the power directly. If you apply like a carrier like this, costly equipment is needed. Okay, that's why we are demodulating this, then we are applying to the low frequency measuring equipment. This is a VSWR meter. It is a power meter. We are measuring power using this. Okay, okay, so this one. So actually, so if you want to measure a power, hmm, power coming out of this RF output, how much power is there, how much power you are getting from here, what you should do, you select whichever the waveform you want. Okay, AM, usually we want AM, you take this AM. Okay, send it through the detector, send it through the detector. See, like this. So I have shown here. Okay, here. Okay, you should connect the detector. Okay, see, like this, you send it through the detector. Okay, so send it through the detector, we will be getting like this waveform, that you feed it to the one here. So then we will be measuring how much power we kept here. Okay, that power. Okay, you can read the power here, how much power is there from this equipment. Okay, you got it now. We should, why we are using AM means because of this. Easily you can get a demodulation of AM signal. See, because you know already ASK signal can be easily demodulated. Okay, AM detector. So detectors, that's why we are choosing this AM signal. We cannot take a continuous signal. Continuous signal means we should have a equipment for measuring continuous wave power of continuous waveform. High frequency equipment is needed, that is not there. That's why what we do is we take the signal and you demodulate that, and power of this is same as power of this. Okay, and we have a equipment, this can give a power measurement of this square wave. Okay, so using this power whatever you measure here, that is the power of this one. Okay, so okay, so now how to measure power here? Okay, we are applying square wave to this. Okay, so how to measure the power using this equipment? This is called as VSWR meter. Okay. Hmm. Here this meter, see, has a knob, you can observe here. See here. Okay, input, there is two selections are there, input 1 and input 2. Input 1 and input 2, either any one of this you can use. This is the power, switch on the power on off, power on or off is this button. Okay, next what you have to do, any one you can use, either this one or this one, input 1 or input 2. That selection is here, see here. It is in the pressed position, you should connect input to here. Okay, if it is in the released position, you should connect input to input 1. See here, input 1, output of this, see, output of this must be connected to here. Okay, if you keep it in the released position, okay, this automatically will turn on. If you keep it in released position, this will turn on. That means input we are giving to the input 1. Okay, or if you keep it pressed position, then this is the input, this LED will turn on. Okay, I have chosen here is the input 1, this will turn on. Okay, that purpose this one. Okay, and here two more buttons are there, is a 5 dB and expanded. This is expanded, this is a 5 dB. Both of these you keep it in the released position, do not bother. Okay, about these two buttons, we will tell you that later. Okay, this is released position, this should be released position. And this gain control, keep it in the maximum position. See, rightmost turn clockwise, do it in the clock mode, move in the clockwise direction, keep it in the rightmost position, this one. Okay. Mm. Okay, that you keep released position. This one, if you want if you are feeding input to the one, you keep it in released position. If you want to, you are feeding here, you put it in the pressed position. Okay, if these two buttons are in released position, normal will LED will turn on at normal mode operation. Okay, we are not using expanded or minus 5 dB. Okay, keep this released position, normal will turn on. Okay, this is in the rightmost position. Okay, and here is a selection knob, 60, 50. See, in the oscilloscope range selection used to be there. Range selection means you used to keep it at 1 volt, 10 volt, 1 volt, 0.1 volt range, 10 volt range, 20 volt range, like that range selection used to be there. That is here range selection. Either it is a 60 dB, 50 dB, 40 dB, 30 dB, like this range selection. See, if a lesser is there, lesser amplitude, lesser power is there, you can select the 60. This is 60, this is 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 0. 0 dB power is 1 volt. 0 dB. Okay. uh, Actually next values are negative, -10, -20, -30, -40. Okay, don't confuse here. Values are -10, -20, -30. Maximum 0 dB. 0 dB, -10, -20, -30, like that. See, if you 0 dB, okay, if you keep it at 0 dB, that means approximately 1 volt. If output, if you feed the power signal here, if it is lesser in amplitude, you may not get 0 dB. It may be a -20 dB, for example. Means 0.8 volts or 0.5 volts. 0.5 volts corresponds to some minus negative value. Okay, -20, -30, like that. Then what you have to do, if you keep it at 0 dB, it may not show. You should keep a selector range 10 dB or 20 dB. Okay, this is for range selection. Like a 1 dB we will be keeping. Okay, sorry, 1 volt range. If you do not see the signal properly, what we do, we will change it to 10 dB, 10 volts in the oscilloscope. Just as oscilloscope range changes will be there. Similar to that here, you can change the range 10, 20, 30, like that. Okay, so for example, if you keep this at some position, for example 60, what you have to do, see, this scale reading you should take. See here, 0 to 10 dB, 10 dB. This is for range selection. Okay, next value from here, 0 dB is 0 dB. See, 0 dB. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. This scale only we should use in the laboratory. Don't use any of this. Okay, only this 0, 1. You see this red color is there. This one you should use in the laboratory. This one you should use. Okay, up to 0 to 1. Okay, this range will be something 60. Okay, but this needle is there. See, this is analog meter. Actually this is a needle is there. This, based on your input, whatever you apply, this needle may be somewhere here, anywhere. Okay, anywhere here. So our reading is, then this, to this range you should add a needle position, value of needle position. See, I will show you that. See, like this, you see here, this is see, I have taken here 30 dB. This is 30 dB. Okay, range I have taken 30 dB here. Range I have taken 30 dB. And here, where is the needle here? This needle is at 4. This is 4 and 5. In between 4 and 5. This is 4.5. 4.5. Okay, 4. This is 4.5. Is correct? Center. Yeah, the 4, this 3 and this is 4. In between 5 divisions are there. So automatically each division is 0.0 to 0.2, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. This is 4. 3.2, 3.4, 3.6, 3.8, 4. Like that. Based on which position is this needle. Okay, that reading you should take. So it is a 4.5 now. 4.5. Now our reading is 30. This is range selection is at 30. Okay, 30 plus this 4.5, that means 34.5. Our reading is minus 34.5. This is actually, you should take a negative value for all these. Minus 30 here, this is minus 4.5. That means minus 34.5 the reading is. Okay, for this setting, like that you should read. Are you getting? So range you can select, and this needle may be in anywhere. Okay, uh, to this range value you should add a value of this wherever this needle is. Okay, that gives the a power input here. Power input. See, actually power we cannot connect directly. See, this is a VSWR meter, as I shown. This is a we cannot connect directly here. See, this one cannot be connected directly to here. Okay, what we do, we cable, coaxial cable. Again, this is there in our laboratory. Okay, output of this. Okay, you use a cable. you connect it. This is simple oscilloscope connection. You connect here and that must be connected to here. Okay, so that power reading you can read here how much based on. So if you feed a signal coming out of this, see like this. So power is coming, power I have taken here from here, I have given to the detector. So here AM signal is coming, that AM signal demodulated using this. Okay, square wave is coming. That square wave power is same as power of this. Okay, so that I am passing through this to the VSWR meter, power meter, and I have taken 30 dB. See, this is selection, what range you should choose, 30, 40, or whatever it is. See, we will be choosing initially some, keep always 40 dB range, always use a 40 dB range here. Okay, and based on the needle position, see, after that based on needle position you will be keeping, for example, at 40 dB. Okay, you are switched on this power meter. If this needle goes leftmost, if it goes leftmost, next okay, sorry, rightmost, if it goes like this rightmost, what we have to do, you select the 30 dB, 30 dB lower higher range, like this. That means power is high, input power is high. See, minus 30 is greater than minus 40, do not confuse. Minus 30 is greater than minus 40. Minus 60 is lesser than minus 50. Okay, minus 60, minus 50, all these are lesser than minus 30. Okay, minus 30 is greater. See, if the input power is greater than 40 dB, okay, then this needle will go right side like this. So what you should do, power is more, you should change this range to 30. Okay, even if you keep it at 30, if it's still in the rightmost, you should change it to 20. That means power is greater than 30, like that. Okay, so now for example, if you keep at 40, but if needle goes like this leftmost, that means power is lesser than 40. What you should do, you should select this to 50. Power is, if it goes like this, so power is lesser than what you said. So if it scale goes behind like this, you should change this range. If it goes left, you choose the lower scale. If it goes right side, you choose the higher range. Okay, like this range selection will be there. Needle should not go out of the scale. To bring it, what you have to do, if it goes right, you change to higher value. If it goes left, you choose this to lower level. Lower level means minus 60. See, minus 60 is a lower than minus 50. If it is at 40, you should choose a 50, minus 50, like that. Okay, this is about a scale. That is range selection here. Understood? So like that you can measure. So apply the power here. You can measure the power like this. So you set a power here. You can keep it minimum position. See how to measure a power now from here. I told we will be choosing AM. Why we are choosing AM? Because our equipment measures only the power of square wave. That's why. Okay. Square wave coming here means carrier is there. Carrier means our microwave is there. Okay. That is a confirmation. So you adjust, I told you to keep it minimum position. You measure how much power is coming from here. And you change this knob, RF power knob level. Automatically power should increase. If you increase this, power should increase. That means needle should go like this, increase. Okay, that you can see in the laboratory. See how to measure the input power here, P1. See like this. Okay, output power. We are applying this power to our devices. Okay, our device is there, for example, this is our device. Okay, we should measure the power input you should measure. Okay, this is our ring resonator, for example, ring resonator I am doing. Okay, I am applying signal here. How much power I have to apply here? You can apply any value. See, you 0 to first you measure minimum value and maximum value. As I told, keep it in minimum position, measure how much minimum power is coming. Next, keep it at maximum position, measure it. Any value you can adjust. So what value, P1, how to measure a P1? You should measure first P1 is correct. Before connecting to this ring resonator, this is ring resonator. We want to measure a power output. Okay, but how much power you are giving at the input, that you should measure P1. How much power we are giving to here. here to the input of ring resonator. This is ring input here. How much power you are giving to here? First you know that is correct. Okay. Afterwards we keep that input power constant, only vary the frequency. Okay, to get this input power, you fix the input power, vary only the frequency. So how much power is coming from here, that you should measure first before connecting to here. To measure that, you should do like this. You see here, take a output from here, pass it through the detector. Okay, connect it to VSWR meter. Okay. Mm? You can set a power here, power using this knob. Okay, better you set it at a 30 dB level, power level, input power minus 30 dB. See like this. Okay, take a output and connect it directly. So P1 we are measuring. This is detector. Okay, you measure first how much power. Actually you should measure that at all frequencies, because small variation will be there. Even you set a here this knob, you will be setting to some value, but as a frequency you changes, output not remain same, will change. Small fluctuations will be there. That's why what we are doing, you keep it some level. Okay, vary the frequency and note down P1, that is the output at different frequencies. Okay, even you keep this constant, as a frequency changes, small changes in there, this P1. So that's why you measure the P1 every frequency by doing like this. See, like connect it like this, connect it like this. Okay, actually to connect this detector we need this one, it is available in the laboratory. You take this and connect it to here. Okay, and the connection will come like this. See like this. First you should do like this. This is one more, and then you connect, and the assembly will be like this. Okay, you measure, you keep it some level, middle of this or maximum. You better keep it a power level at maximum. Hmm? Vary the frequency, vary the frequency and note down this P1. This is fixed, keep it at maximum, because power coming itself is a very low. Okay, in the order of 30 dB 20 dB will coming, so keep it at maximum position. That is a constant we kept. But even you keep it constant, if you vary the frequency, small change in P1 will be there. That's why as the frequency changes, how much variation is there, that you know down here. P1 at 2.1, that is the input power at a different frequency. Okay, you have to know down, because this of detector problem, even you keep this knob. Actually if you keep this knob at some position, output should not change here P1. But detector is not maybe a good one. If the frequency changes, this power may change. That's why this you have to take at a different frequency. Okay, so that is a P1 here. Next, what we have to do after measuring this, okay, we will be measuring power like this. Next, you should connect ring resonator. See like this. See ring resonator, insert between so I want to measure P2. Okay, power P2 I have to measure here. P1, what you have to do, this is a detector. Now I want to measure at P2. P2 means detector should be connected to P2. See, this is a detector. Here the signal is coming. See here. See like this. Input by input, now detector first measure the P1 and remove this connection. Okay, this output of this you connect it to here, connect it to a ring resonator input. Okay, it is a, you are connecting like this, and the signal will pass through this device. Output again a square wave, output again sorry, this carrier AM modulated signal from here. Okay, so what we have to do now, vary the frequency here, vary the frequency here, vary the frequency. Power we fixed constant here, approximately this will come constant. Okay, at 2.1 we know the input, how much input is there. You measure the P2, how much power is coming here. P2 means after passing through again you will be getting this waveform only, but you should demodulate that before giving to the power measuring equipment, this VSWR meter. Okay, you take this, that means our signal passing through this is high frequency signal like this, to through this device. The signal passing is this, passing is this signal we are connecting here. So this signal passes through this, and based on the frequency, resonant frequency or other frequencies, output will change. At resonant frequency, you will be getting maximum output, this output. By other frequencies, the amplitude of the output may be lesser, this waveform. Okay, feed this signal to here. Because okay, this signal is coming, it's this amplitude may be P2 may be higher or lesser, uh, based on the frequency here. Where is the frequency here? Okay, where is the frequency? Based on resonant frequency, we will getting higher amplitude. But you should measure how much power is in the output waveform. Okay, for that again you should use a detector. This one, this power P2 you are measuring. So output, you take output from ring resonator, pass it through the detector, you connect it to the VSWR meter. So we will be getting square wave here. Okay, because we want to measure the power here, P2 power. So you should demodulate this using detector. Square wave we will be getting here, that you feed it to the VSWR meter. Then we will be getting power of this, that means power of P2. This arrangement you should do. So where is the frequency, and note down P2. First what we should do, you do not connect this ring resonator, just you directly feed this to here, measure the P1. Next what we have to do, you should pass this signal to this, take a output from here, connect it here. Next measure the P2 from here. Okay, detector must be connected here. First to measure the input power, connect directly this to here. Okay, this, and measure the P1 at different frequency. Next what you should do, next you should measure the P2. For that what we have to do, you take out this detector connection and connect it directly to device. This connection should be here now. Next this should be measured P2. So you connect this to detector, and this detector output must be connected to VSWR. Measure the power P2 at different frequencies. Take a difference here. That should be plotted. Okay. So like this we should do in our laboratory. This is equipment, about equipment. Okay. VSWR meter. I told you how to measure the VSWR power. Measuring the power. Okay. Here see here, I have given one more example for that power measurement. Okay, based on the needle position. Okay, I set it at for 50 dB here. See, this is a 50 dB range, 50 dB here, and that needle is some 2.5 here. See here, 2 point in between 2 and 3. It is in between that 2.5 for 0.45, not exactly at the 5. Okay, it is 2.45, this value 2, and this is 0.45, 2.45, this scale. Okay, and this is 50 range. 50 range from here, range value, and this is 1. So addition of these two, both are negative, both should be negative. It is minus 52.45 dB. Okay, like that we can read from the VSWR meter. So okay, as I said, this must be maximum position, and this these two should be released position. This should be in the automatically, if we keep these two in released position, normal will turn on. Okay, normal mode operation. Scale must be here, this one, 0 to 10 dB scale you should read. Okay, whatever you set here, this value you should add it to here, that is actually reading. So minus 52.45 is the value. So output coming here after passing through the ring resonator. You see, this is the ring resonator I have connected. After passing through the AM signal through the ring resonator, the our power P2 at 2.39 gigahertz is minus 52.45 dB. Okay, so like that you can read from the VSWR meter. Okay, so this is about this equipment two. These are the main two equipments we are using. These are the things. Okay, this is about your laboratory. Okay, we'll next we will see once we come to the laboratory class. We will see that, but better you go through these videos. Okay, I am stopping my presentation here.